Hi again. Welcome back to Mr. Ace Math. This lesson is on fractions. Some stuff you should know before we begin are just the basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So make sure you're good with those and let's get started. Okay, so first of all, what exactly are fractions? Fractions are made when a whole is split into equally sized pieces. A lot of teachers just say that fractions are values that are less than one whole, but they completely leave out the fact that it's broken into equally sized pieces. And that's the most important part. So, let's say here we have a pizza pie, pepperoni, my personal favorite, and we cut it up. Here we have 8 pieces. Now this is a fraction where each of these is 1/8, and we'll get into more detail about how fractions are expressed. But as you can see here, they are broken into equally sized pieces. Here, chocolate chip cookie, another favorite. Well, if I wanted to break that up, I can actually cut it in the middle and break it up into 2 pieces. And each of these pieces is 1/2. But again, what I'm trying to stress is the fact that when you break these up, when you break these wholes up, they're broken into equally sized pieces. That's the most important thing to remember. So how do I write fractions? Well, fractions are part of a whole. So I have to write the part and I have to write the whole. But how do I do that? The numerator is the top number, and that is the part. The denominator is the bottom number, and it's the total number of pieces in the whole. So let's say we have this rectangle here, and that rectangle represents one whole. Now, I can break that up into 4 pieces, and I'll shade one of those pieces. Well, what fraction is shaded? Well, there's 4 total pieces, and there's one that's shaded. We're talking about what's shaded. So that would be 1/4. The 1 is the numerator, and the 4 is the denominator. Because the 1 tells me exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm saying what fraction is shaded. And that's one of the pieces. Well, how many pieces are there in the whole? There's 4. So the shaded portion is 1/4. How about a fraction for what is not shaded? Well, how many boxes there are not shaded? Well, of the 4 pieces, we have 1, 2, 3 that are not shaded. So that would be 3/4. The 3 is our numerator and the 4 is our denominator. Because the 3 says the part we're talking about, and the 4 tells us how many pieces are in the whole. Here's another example. This time we have a whole, but we're going to break this up into 16 pieces. And the question is, what fraction is shaded? Well, we've got 16 pieces, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pieces are shaded. So what fraction would I use? Well, that would be 7/16. 7 is the numerator because it tells me how many boxes are shaded. And 16 is my denominator because it tells me how many total boxes I have in the whole. How about what fraction is not shaded? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 boxes that are not shaded. So what fraction would that be? 9/16. 9 is my numerator, and 16 is my denominator. 9 is my numerator because it tells me the part that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fraction that is not shaded. Since there are 9 boxes that are not shaded, that's my numerator. And I have 16 boxes total in the whole. Therefore, my denominator is 16. Okay, so here I have another example where I have one whole, and I'm going to break that one whole into a certain number of parts. Here it's 8. I've got 8 pieces. Now I'm going to shade a certain number. And my first question is, what fraction is blue? Well, I've got 8 total pieces, and 3 of which are blue. 1, 2, 3. So that fraction is going to be 3/8. My numerator is 3, because that's the part I'm talking about, which is blue. There are 3 blue pieces. And 8 is my denominator, because there are 8 total pieces in my whole. So our fraction is 3/8. How about what fraction is orange? Well, I've got 8 total pieces. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange pieces. So that fraction is going to be 5/8. I've got 5 orange pieces. that's my numerator because that's what I'm talking about, the orange. 5 orange pieces. And my denominator is 8 because there's 8 total pieces in my whole. Here's another example. I've got one whole. I'm going to break that up, this time into 16 pieces. And I'll shade a certain number. Well, my first question is, what fraction is purple? Well, I've got 16 total pieces, 3 of which are purple, so that fraction is 3/16. 3 is my numerator because that tells me the part which is purple, and that's what I'm talking about here. And 16 is my denominator because that tells me how many total pieces are in the whole. So my fraction is 3/16 to represent the amount of the circle that's purple. How about what fraction is yellow? Well, we've got 16 total pieces, of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces are yellow. So what fraction will I use to represent the yellow of the circle? Well, that would be 13/16. 13 is my numerator because it tells me the part, or how much of it is yellow, and 16 is my denominator because it tells me how many total pieces are in the whole. So here's your pause and practice. Just pause and practice. When you're done, unpause the video. After a 3, 2, 1 countdown, your answer will be displayed. Go. So let's review our answers. We had to find different fractions for the colors to the right. So number 1, what fraction is blue? 9/32. Number 2, what fraction is green? 13/32. Number 3, what fraction is white? 3/32. And number 4, what fraction is yellow? 7/32. So let's review this lesson. Fractions are pieces of a whole that are the same size. Remember, that's the most important part. The pieces in a whole have to be the same size. A fraction is written using blank numbers. 2 numbers. The top number is called the numerator, and the numerator says the part of the fraction. The bottom number is called the denominator. The denominator says the number of pieces in the whole. And thanks for using Mr. Ace Math. Don't just pass math, ace it.